Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, we've got a BMW behind us, an M6 Competition, and as you can see, I'm not holding the camera because I've got a tripod and I've got a film crew with me as well, where we're going to be doing loads of different sort of pan shots on this car. Now this car essentially is a 2014 model year car. It's an M6 Competition, you know, something that we've had in a similar form in terms of, like, say, the engine, the gearbox. It's a 4.4 litre V8 twin turbo, producing about 600 odd horsepower, because this S63 engine is, you know, pretty powerful. So yeah, what we're going to do is walk around the car, take on those country lanes, do some drive-bys, and hopefully wrap up either here or out there somewhere. So yes, enjoy this montage. What I really like about this M6 is that the way this cockpit just wraps around you. Yes, pretty much everything in here, like the dials, are pretty much out of the F10 M5, the center console, but what you do get is a real sense of like a cockpit that wraps around you, and you don't really get that with most M cars out there, like say the M3, the M4, the M5. With this one, I like the way the dash just wraps all the way around you. And this car, because it's finished off in the San Marino blue, which I believe it was the first M car to come with the colour. Yes, you've got the M3 and the M4 that now come with the San Marino blue, but the M6 was, I believe, the first car to feature the colour. This has then got the oyster leather interior, and also it's got an Alcantara steering wheel, which really sets the bar quite high up with this M6. And you've got a lot of splashing of carbon, which seems to be the theme with most M cars out here these days. Now what we're going to do now is give it a sound check, start up the car, give you some revs, let the noise just bounce off these kind of like metal walls all around us, and yeah, then hit those country lanes and give you my driving impressions of this M6 Competition. So yeah, we're just going to start the car up right now. And I like the way that steering wheel just drops itself down, pretty much just like the way the S8 was last week. So let's just give it some revs. Put the car into its Sports Plus mode. Soft limiter. Okay, so right behind the wheel of this M6 Competition pack, and this vid is going to be an impressions vid of this car. It's a huge step up from my Mini that I've been driving for the best part of last week or so, and coming from my M4, this car again just feels that much more substantial. M4 I would say is more of a sports coupe This is more of a Grand Tourer. You know, you got the 4.4 V8 twin turbo engine, rear wheel drive. You know, it's a huge car, this. So it definitely, you know, feels more like a Grand Tourer rather than an out and out sports car, which clearly this isn't. But I can seriously just see myself driving this up and down the country, you know, even through, you know, Europe on road trips and whatnot, and getting out on the other side without any back pain or anything like that. It's a proper mile cruncher of a car, this is. And with that amount of power on tap as well, it's so effortless to drive on. Maybe it's a bit of a placebo effect coming out of, like, say, my Mini Cooper S, but it wasn't that long ago that I was in my M4 anyway. So soundtrack of a V8. I've got the car all set up in the way I would normally drive around these country lanes. So, you know, Sports Plus on the throttle, sport suspension, comfort steering. That's exactly how I'll drive my M4, and it just feels like a far more, say, superior car, a far more comfortable car compared to the M4 as well. So the car is riding on 20-inch alloy wheels, wearing Michelin Pilot Super Sport tyres. The ride is pretty much bang on, if I'm honest. You know, it's not modified in any way. It's got stock performance, it's got stock suspension, and it does handle the road quite well. And, you know, it doesn't crash like the way the F80 M3 or the F82 M4 does, even on stock suspension. A few weeks ago I did a POV driving vid on my M4, and I said, you know, I would have a rear wheel drive chassis pretty much any day of the week, and I clearly stand by that, because right now I'm in a V8 rear wheel drive, and that sensation of being pushed along, it's like second to none. This isn't really a car that you'd want to bring down on the country lane, if I'm honest, because of the sheer size of this car, and also, like I said before, it's more of a Grand Tourer rather than an out and out sports car for country lanes. I really do love the sound of a V8. I mean, the V8, like I've said a number of times on the channel, is an engine that I do aspire to owning in a car at one moment in time, hopefully not in the too distant future. And there's just so much experience I'm getting with different types of V8s. I mean, you know, we've had some cars on the channel from Audi, we've had some cars on the channel from, you know, like a Ford Mustang, which was a 5-litre V8. We've had like a couple of M5s, and, you know, now even this. The V8 engine and that low down torque is pretty good, and the sound that it makes when you let off the accelerator, it makes like this kind of a bellow kind of sound. This cabin is really well insulated. You're not really hearing a lot of exhaust note like the pops and the burbles. You're not really hearing a lot of like that engine V8 sound, but you can hear like a little bit. I'm not sure whether that's like kind of pumped through, like, say, the speakers of the car as a sound actuator, but you can clearly tell it's a V8. It's all about that engine in this car. It's a proper powerhouse. So I really love the spec of this car, the way it's been specced up, head-up display, all the carbon trimmings going on pretty much everywhere, the way this dashboard just wraps around you, the colour as well, the San Marino blue has got to be one of my all-time favourite M colours. And then you've got this Alcantara steering wheel, which really finishes off the interior really nicely. And then these seats as well, they're very supportive, you know, and they're comfortable as well. They're not just supportive as in, you know, buckety, but they're very supportive in that they've got enough cushioning, they've got enough support for you to carry out that long journey and get out the other side without a back pain. The roads today are quite greasy, and I can tell that it does lose traction quite a bit. I mean, it's not like it's going sideways or whatnot, but I can always see that traction control line just flickering that little bit, which, you know, clearly means it's working. But I really wouldn't want to be driving this car today in full traction off mode or even MDM mode. clearly it's not my car, so I don't really want to be giving the owner some bad news that, you know, I've hit a ditch. So we got to respect that. But from the initial drive, the impressions that I'm kind of gathering together for you guys out there, this with a tune, you'd easily be pulling well over 750 odd horsepower. I drove that M4 which was wrench tuned. That had pretty much a lot of, like, say, mods going on, engine wise, exhaust wise and whatnot, and I can clearly see where this car can get to in terms of, like, say, with the mods and performance output. But really, I mean, this car is it's pretty good in stock form as well. I think the only mods that this car actually has got is that it's got some spacers on just to push those wheels out just a little bit more, and I think there might be 12mm all around. I'll let you know for sure down here somewhere what size those spacers are. The thing about this car is, because it's so well insulated, because of the way this car is set up, being that, you know, motorway, cruiser, autobahn crusher, you know, cross-continent, Grand Tourer, you do get into that kind of false sense of economy in terms of the way this car gets you from A to B and the speed that it really just pulls out. So with an M4, you know exactly what the car is doing. There's a lot of, like, say, communication that goes on in that. You can hear the engine and whatnot, so you know that without even looking at the speedo, you can tell what speed you're actually doing. Whereas with this, because it's quite well insulated, and as I say, you do get kind of sucked into that kind of false sense of security and economy in terms of, like, what speed you're actually doing. So even on the downshifts of this car, it doesn't really give you that kind of a kick in the back of your head, or, you know, kind of make you feel like you're actually changing the gear down. It's pretty much like a grown-up car. It's again, it's a Grand Tourer. So guys, I really hope that you have enjoyed this video. Give it a like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section below if you got one of these cars. Tell me what you like about it, what you don't like about it. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Take care, bye. It's kind of behind the scenes. We're going to be filming this M6 today. We've got a tripod, we've got a crew today. We've got
oh mate, quickly, yeah.
This guy here who's setting the tripod out. We got a pro detailer who's doing a waterless detail, and we've got the car, the M6, and we've got the show car, which is the production car, the Mini Cooper S. The tripod's ready. What?
Gotta put on the camera.
Is that like a shoe? Look, my hands are so cold that they're shaking. Look at that. You been shopping? Look how sick that Mini looks, man. Is he gonna hold my camera okay?